I'm going to touch you in the pangus.
Right in the pangus.
Ooh. This episode was brought to you by My Pangus.
Get your fat ass over here.
Get your fat space ass back here. I do that voice kind of okay now that I can hear it.
You do. Yeah.
You want a popsicle? I got a cellar full of popsicles.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. This episode was brought to you by voice impersonations.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Remote Control Podcast, a podcast where we talk about nerd stuff, movies, comics, TV, movies, comics, TVs.
Fictional anime
games,
titties.
Anime, all that kind of fun stuff. I'm your every week host, Robert Slavinsky. With me, as always, is my basically every day.
Your everyday penis. Your boy.
Your boy, skinny host. What?
Yes. Perception.
With me, as always, is Colton Bird.
Yeah, boy.
What's going on?
I'm gonna start calling you Howard Stern.
Howard Stern, please. I wish I was as good as Howard Stern.
Hey, could you imagine? We get more than 20 downloads.
We're getting more than 20 downloads right now. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, I know. All 17 people are making fake accounts and downloading us. Thank you. Proud of you.
So what you been doing the last week, buddy?
Some stuff and some shit. Some more stuff. I bought a new airsoft gun. I'm really hyped about.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous of
Actually, thinking about that, let me check my email real quick. It's been about an hour.
Any movies, any TV, any...
What was the movie we saw? We saw Everyday, I think is what it was called. It was awful. It was a joke.
Thank you, Movie Pass.
Yeah, basically. No, I saw it with Nicole. It was her pick this week, so I was like, okay.
Oh, you guys pick every other week?
Yeah.
Or every week? Or
so we're seeing Annihilation this week. Actually, no, I'm probably going to give it to her this week because Thursday's her birthday.
Yeah, there's something that I do want to see, Annihilation, but there's another movie that just came out or is coming out I want to see, and I can't remember what it is. I actually watched a Netflix original movie this past week. And yes, it's a chick flick. It's called When We First Met.
Super gay.
Honestly, it's not that bad. I mean, it has Alexandra Daddario in it, which she's kind of a cute actress. Robbie Amell, people who have the Arrowverse may know him. He played Firestorm on The Flash. Adam Devine, you may know him from the Pitch Perfect movies. He's in that. And then there's an actress I've never seen before, Shelley Henning. I don't know who she is. She's in it also.
She was an actress?
No, she's from Teen Wolf.
Oh, another show no one's seen.
Yeah, but she's kind of hot, man. I tell you, she's...
You thinking about her with your pangus?
No, sometimes.
Nice.
But basically, it's actually not a bad movie. Like, I went into it like, this is probably going to be stupid.
It's a Netflix movie.
It's going to be a Netflix movie that not just a Netflix movie, because some Netflix movies have been pretty good. Bright, I thought, was excellent.
I was just going to say Bright's pretty good.
But I went into it like, I was bored. I was like, nothing else to watch, nothing else to do. I'll just throw this on. And I was pleasantly surprised. I'm not going to say it's like a top-notch movie. There's a lot of holes in it. It's a time travel movie. Basically, the premise here is after spending a night with the girl of his dreams, only to become just friends, a man gets an opportunity to travel through time and alter the night over and over again until he gets everything perfect. So, basically the whole thing is Alexandra Daddario is Adam Devine's, like the girl of his dreams, essentially. Mm-hmm. He meets her at a Halloween party in 2014.
Nice.
And you jump up to 2017, and you see that she's actually getting married to Robbie Amell's character.
Yeah.
And
relatable.
He's there at the engagement party, and he's like, getting drunk and stuff like that. And he's like, if I could have only changed it, And he goes back to one of the first places they hung out at, and there's a old photo booth there. And that first night, they actually took a photo together at the photo booth, but he's completely drunk and hammered, and he puts a quarter in. He goes, if I could only go back to that day, I would change everything.
It's one of those ones.
And, he wakes up in bed in 2014,
Now, is he his modern day 2014 self?
Yeah, he realizes, like, where am I? Like, at first, he's like, you know me. And they're like, who are you? Like, people are like, he's like, but we met. Wait a minute, it's 2014. Like,
he's piecing it together. So, but it's like 2017's body in 2014 or 2014.
2017's mind in 2014, essentially.
Nice.
So, like, he has to go through, and he does it probably, 4 or 5 times we see it, but they allude to it a lot more in the movie that he keeps going back.
Also, it's like you go back for a day type thing?
Yeah, he goes back for a day. If he fixes it, or whatever he does that day, he then wakes up in 2017, and you see the ramifications, which is kind of cool, too.
That's a cool concept.
Because you actually see the ramifications, because there's sometimes where he completely fucks up, and nobody knows him at all.
And he's married to a dog and has human puppy hybrid things.
Not exactly like that. But again, there's a lot of holes in the movie, but I thought it was a decent film. I say if you and your girlfriend are hanging out, Netflixing and chilling, she'll probably like it.
The thing is, if we're not in a movie theater, I'm probably going to fall asleep in the middle of it.
I mean, you may fall, but she might like it. I'm just saying she may enjoy it. It's a good chick flick. Like I said, the one chick is smoking hot. Like, the whole movie, I'm like, why would you go for that? Look at that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Damn! But, again, it's don't go into it expecting, an award-winning type of film, anything like that. But it's one of those movies that, I might watch it again if I am bored, because it's just background noise type of thing.
I will never watch Every Day again. Hey, it's like this dude wakes up as a different person every day. Okay, cool concept. But literally what they explain is, spoiler, he's just a floating conscience that wakes up as someone different in the area he's in. So, like, he wakes up and he's this black dude one day, and he wakes up and he's an Asian chick the next day, and falls in love with this girl, and
I also started watching a Netflix TV show. Actually, it's a British television series.
On Netflix?
On Netflix, yeah.
End of the fucking world? You should watch that.
I haven't watched that. No.
It's okay. It's surprisingly okay.
No, this one's called The Frankenstein Chronicles.
Ooh.
And the name is kind of catchy because I'm like, Frankenstein? I could go for, like, when I first saw it, I was like, I can go for a Frankenstein story. I haven't, what the hell?
That's something that hasn't been played out yet.
And then I see the cast, and the name that sticks out to me immediately is Sean Bean. And I'm like, Sean Bean?
Okay.
I'm like, Franklin James! Sorry, I know a lot of people know Sean Bean from Game of Thrones or other, like, my introduction to Sean Bean was GoldenEye. So, that moment in the beginning of GoldenEye when you hear him yell, Franklin James, like, that's been stuck with me for Sean Bean since that movie came out. So, but he's pretty much the only person I've noticed. Vanessa Kirby, she seems familiar, like I've seen her before in something, and I just couldn't put my finger on it. So I don't know, maybe I have. But it's a TV show, and I watched the first 3 episodes. Now, it's really weird because Sean Bean plays takes place in like the 1700s or something like that, or
nice.
1800s, New England, or not New England. 1800s.
You are. I'll give you a second to recollect.
1800s, like England, type of thing. And he's like a police officer, but he's like the river watch. Like, he watches the river.
That was back before they had guns. They carried batons.
No, he had a gun.
He called them wacky sticks.
He had a gun.
I was there.
He has a gun. But anyways, he discovers a body on the beach, and he goes over to it and check it out. It's a dead woman, and she's all stitched up, like around her wrists, around her upper arm, her neck, her waist, like she was sewn together.
Nice.
And like so that he calls a medical professional, and they take a look, and they're looking at her, and they're like, what's going on? Why did you call the medical professional? It's just a murder. He's like, this is no murder that I've seen before.
It's a murder of maybe 17 people.
But then they find out that it's like 7 or 8 people that were killed and put back together.
That's badass.
Now the crazy thing is when he found this body on the beach, like he picks up the hand, and as he's holding the hand flips around and grabs him.
Oh shit.
And then he like freaks out. But
that's my reaction too.
Yeah, so now the whole thing is, where I'm at so far in the story is you start to find out that there's missing children in this town. Like all these children are going missing, and nobody cares because a lot of them are homeless or something like that nobody cares about. So now he's starting to investigate these missing children, and he's starting to catch on. Like you're seeing some of these medical professionals that they're trying to push a new act through, a new law to go through that limits the grave diggers and stuff like that, or grave robbers, not grave diggers, grave robbers from stealing bodies. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. I'm just like, this is fucking weird. Like
this is interesting.
I'm kind of digging it. There's times where it's kind of slow and stuff like that, but
how long are the episodes?
About an hour. Yeah, 45 minutes to an hour. But
that's a lot of time.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be one of those shows that, like, if there's nothing else on, I might throw it on to continue watching, because I'm hooked, but I'm not like hooked where I have to binge watch it. So.
Yeah. How many seasons is it?
2, each season 6 episodes.
That's not bad. So it could be like just started or almost over.
Yeah. Well, it came out. The first episode came out in 2015.
Oh, so it's probably over.
And the last episode was December of 2017. So
yeah, it might keep going then. Never mind.
Yeah. So I mean, it might. Yeah. Who knows? So we'll see. I like Sean Bean. Sean Bean, I think, is an excellent actor. I don't know why he only picks movies and things that he gets killed in. Can you name me a movie where Sean Bean wasn't killed?
Next answer.
National Treasure.
Really?
Yeah. And Silent Hill.
He was in Silent Hill?
He was the father in Silent Hill. The first one. The first movie.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't know it.
Yeah, because you remember like the end of the movie, like the wife and husband are like in the house, but they're in like different realms essentially, Yeah,
Silent Hill was fucking nuts.
It's such a good movie.
It's a better video game series.
No, it's a great. Well, the first 2 games.
Okay, you stay to the chronological.
Yeah.
And was it Downpour? I think it's Downpour.
The Room.
Downpour was
The
my
Room
favorite.
is when it started to get bad. So that was what, 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it started to get bad. 3, I don't remember 3 too much. I just remember playing Silent Hill 2 with Alex. Like, I was staying over at his house, and we rented Silent Hill 2 for the PlayStation. And we basically stayed up all night playing it. All night to beat it. And we beat it in that night, but it was funny because, that was a one-player game, and there's 2 of us, So he would be on his PC, like, playing Counter-Strike, and I would be playing Silent Hill. And once I die, I'd go play Counter-Strike, and he would go play Silent Hill.
I know those feels.
So that's kind of how we handled it back in the day.
You should play Downpour sometime. Is it on Xbox?
I don't know, but maybe it wasn't. If it wasn't Counter-Strike, it was Alien vs. Predator we were playing on the PC.
Oh my god!
So it was one of those 2.
You're showing your age there. Counter-Strike's still relevant.
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
Global Offensive's relevant,
but yeah. So,
anyway,
that's been kind of my week. Hanging out with the kids.
Realized your son's secretly good at Fortnite.
Yeah. My youngest son decided to tell me the other day, "Hey, I play Fortnite." And I'm like, "Oh, you do?"
So you're like, "Hold on, we need a friend."
So I let him play, and he's not great. Like the first few games, he was just dying almost immediately. But fucker found a fucking rocket launcher like that.
And we spent weeks,
and we still haven't found a rocket launcher.
Weeks looking for the son of a bitch, and we don't know where it's at.
But yeah, and then
leave the location in the comments.
I got to witness his first Fortnite kill, which I got to help him with. So I thought that was kind of cool. It's a father-son bonding moment.
Yeah, homicide, father-son bonding moment.
Okay, look, if we start to get any messages like, this is why schools are being shot up, I'm going to be pissed, because people, you need to chill out, all right?
What's cooler than guns?
More guns?
Hugs.
They should put that on signs in schools.
Bullshit, I trademarked that. You're paying me for that shit. I came up with that fucking thing.
Just trademark it, start creating the posters and selling them to schools. There you go.
Hey, Fraser, I know you just recently had a bomb threat. You know what's better than guns? Hugs.
You know what's better than a bomb?
Hugs.
Oh, God. People are
shit.
turning us off right now.
Real shit. We're not wrong.
No.
What was the last time a hug killed a person? WWE.
Oh, shit.
Owen Hart gave a hug before he dropped 40 feet
Jesus
from
Christ.
the ceiling.
Oh, man.
But you know what? You say, oh shit. If he would have popped out an elbow, That would have been the fucking most amazing WWE move anybody has ever fucking seen.
There was nobody in the ring.
It doesn't matter. He gave the highest elbow drop ever.
There was the one time, I remember, because I was a big wrestling fan back in the day, but I watched WCW, and because I loved the NWO. I was a big fan of the NWO Wolfpack. I had
super gay.
I had the NWO Wolfpack T-shirt and stuff like that.
Even gayer.
Oh man, I don't fucking care. And Sting was my favorite wrestler from when I was a kid. So
wait, which one?
The real Sting.
No, I know the real Sting, but like Sting before he was Sting, or Sting the icon Sting. The one with or without the white face mask.
The white face makeup,
okay.
Yes.
There you go. Because he wrestled without it before.
Well, he started and his face makeup was like different colors, and it was only part of his face.
Yeah.
And then he became he
became the icon.
And then he showed up like one Monday Night Nitro up in the rafters, and everyone was like, "Who's that? That's Sting!"
Oh my God! Someone get a steel chair! Oh my God!
Okay, you're that's the wrong. You're mimicking the wrong announcers.
Whatever.
That was WWF announcers.
That's because I was a WWF kid.
Now, Mark Madden was on WCW.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was the announcer for WCW.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's something to put on a resume.
Yeah, he talks about it all the time on his radio show. But, yeah, I just remember. But anyways, getting back to the story, I remember I was watching WCW, and my buddy Rob, he calls me up, and he's like, dude, turn on WWF, because he watched WWF, and I watched WCW, and then we would tell each other what happened the next day at school, Yeah.
Good conversation.
And he called me. He's like, you got to turn on, what channel was on? TNT? No, TNT was WCW, so USA was WWF. Yeah. He's like, turn on turn on USA. So I turn it on, and like everything's all somber and stuff like that. And I'm like, what happened? Like,
and you're like, by God, I just missed the greatest elbow drop of all time.
I don't remember. Did it happen on a Monday Night Raw? I don't know if it happened on a Monday Night Raw. I just know, like, I heard about it on that night. I
think it was a Monday.
I don't remember if it was like this Sunday, like one of those Sunday night big,
It might have been Sunday,
but
anyway,
I just remember, like that's because back then we didn't, like, the internet was there, but we weren't on it every day.
Your hamster was quicker than that.
And being only 10 years old, we weren't watching the news, so we got our wrestling news every Monday night when we watched wrestling. So
when you watched them greased up wrestlers wrestle each other.
God damn, where's this episode going? Anyways,
it's TRC, the off-topic episode.
Anyways, we got a whole bunch of stuff we're going to go over this week. We're going to talk about some TV things. Gotham came back.
And each one of your individual dad's asses.
We're going to talk there's a lot of Star Wars news that came out, so we're talking some Star Wars news. There's now an official title for the Deadpool sequel.
Oh, is there really?
Yeah, it's a hell of a title too. Let me tell you. We got some Marvel stuff. Journey to Infinity War, and then finally we are going to talk about our top song covers. Our top 10. Each of us picked out 10 song covers that we've really enjoyed, and we're going to get to that later. But we'll speed through the news here so we can get to the main subject.
Yay!
So jump into TV.
Sorry, I decided to burp instead of jump.
So Gotham came back this week, and holy shit, am I happy that it's back. Like, I was upset when the show left and went on its hiatus, but I didn't realize how much I missed it until I started watching it. This show has gotten so fucking good, Colton. Like, I can't believe how good this show has gotten.
How good is it?
Like, this good.
I was the hardest to hold in that laugh.
No, it's just really good. I mean, it wasn't an overly...
You can play back the audio and hear that. I gave out.
It wasn't like an overly great episode. It's just the fact that it's back. I'm getting to see
your
the
dick is fully erect again.
I mean, it was excellent. I really enjoyed seeing the characters again and seeing where things are going to go from there. Let's see, Arrowverse. I tell you what, right now that
universe
it's struggling right now.
It's full of arrows.
It's just struggling
in the
right
back.
Arrow just hasn't been all that compelling. Flash, do they even know what they're doing with the villain? Like, everybody was like, I don't want a speedster villain, and it started off good. Now it's just kind of like, we got
foot race.
We got like 8 episodes left. Is something gonna happen? Like, it's kind of bizarre.
They're setting up Flashpoint in
Black
the TV
Lightning
show.
is still good. Black Lightning, I think, has been really done very well.
Fuck, am I white?
Legends of Tomorrow. Legends of Tomorrow has been good also. I think that there's been the 2 standout seasons this year, which is kind of impressive and weird. But Legends of Tomorrow was really good last year, too, so that isn't too weird.
That's the second weird thing you've said today.
I'm sorry.
I can't say the first one for, personal life reasons.
Season 5 finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is to be, or was and is written as a series finale. Season 5 finale is written as a series finale. In the case, it doesn't get picked up for a 6th season, which I hope to God it doesn't, because I've been trying to watch this 5th season, and holy shit, is it unbearable. It's definitely the worst season since season 1, and it's kind of upsetting. I mean, I love watching, the characters, because the characters I've grown up with for 4.5 years. It's just they're not taking them in a direction that I think works, and it just got too weird this year. But we'll see. I'm honestly like 4 episodes behind where they're at this point, so maybe it gets better. I'm eventually gonna get caught up. So
I like weird though. Weird's cool.
How many times are we gonna say weird today?
Weird. You know what wasn't weird? Owen Hart's 40-foot foot drop.
So I'm not going to talk about the Oscars because honestly I didn't watch and I have yet to even look and see. I think Shape of Water won Best Picture.
Yeah, I was just going to say I think that's the only thing I've seen.
And I do want to see that. I've wanted to see that even before.
Shape of Water, summary. Girl falls in love with a merman.
I know.
And then the merman kills someone.
I know that Get Out won for Best Original Screenplay, which I think is bullshit. I don't think it was a good film, that good of a film. I think it was a decent film. I just don't think it was that good of a film. I don't think it deserved any awards. That's why I really don't watch the Oscars. I don't watch the Grammys. I don't watch these award shows because most of the time they don't award films and musicians and artists and stuff like that for their work. They award them because of who they are. Yeah. And that's what kind of upsets me with a lot of these movies and stuff. These award shows.
That's pretty much like the war. Anyway, you just said. I was like, that's pretty much the world anymore. Yeah. You can make shit, but if you're Kim Kardashian, you're gonna win something.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't going that direction with it, but yeah. You're right.
Like you could do anything.
Let's see. Looks like we may be getting a remake of the 1994 hit film The Crow. This has been in talks for like 10 years. I remember my last wife. We've been through it. The listeners know I've been divorced twice.
He's on his 3rd one now.
I'm not even on a wife. I don't have a wife. I don't even have a girlfriend.
Don't talk about your hand like that. It's right there.
Anyways.
Respect yourself.
I remember... what's his name? Tom Hiddleston was attached to it at one time as being the Crow, and I think who else was attached? Bradley Cooper was attached one time to play the Crow, but now the person who's been attached to it for the past about year now is Jason Momoa.
You know what? Me and Taylor, Taylor, she's a cocktail server where we work. We were talking about this, and she said, if Crow was to get a remake, who could you see playing the Crow? And I called it Jason Momoa. Yeah. And she was like, what? No. And I was like, no, he looks like him. I
guess so. I mean, that 1994 film is one of those movies that I can go back to and watch it. The soundtrack is absolutely amazing. The movie is dated. It's absolutely dated, but it's just a really good time. It's a good, fun action flick that really asks certain questions and stuff like that. And it's good. I enjoy it. I don't know. I don't see Jason Momoa as that character. I just can't see him doing it. Not saying that he's going to do a bad job. I can't see it. Like, I couldn't see Bradley Cooper doing it. I couldn't see Tom Hiddleston doing it. I think because
I can see you doing it.
Because there was all those sequels that came out, after the first one. Obviously, we know Brandon Lee died while filming the first one, everything like that. But he did something with that role and the scenes that he was in that even those sequels, like, it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, it was like, nah.
So I think that might be partly why I can't see Jason Momoa. I'm going to see the movie because...
Are you?
Yeah, because I think... Look, I complain about remakes and stuff like that all the time, but I think it's been long enough. We're over 20 years now.
It's not like Transformers or Resident Evil that's literally rebooting it. And the last one came out last year.
Exactly. I don't mind if it's been like 20, 30 years, and they're like, we think we can update it, make it better. If they think they can make it better or make it just as good, go for it.
Throw it in my face.
And if it sucks, you know what? I still have the original to watch.
Yeah, it's not really damaging.
Exactly. Speaking of remakes... it seems like the 1986 film Highlander is going to finally get the reboot treatment, as Lionsgate has pegged Ryan J. Condal to write the script. He's known for Dwayne Johnson's Hercules film and his upcoming feature Rampage. Now, obviously, there's nobody attached to the film. That's not saying Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's in it.
He's
But
going to be in it.
him and Kevin Hart, Kevin Hart's going to be Highlander, so Kevin Hart's going to play Christopher Lambert's character, and The Rock is going to play Sean Connery's character.
Yes,
from the original.
Canon,
that's how it's gonna
completely
go.
canon. Speaking of, did you ever? I'm going to show you a little behind the scenes here, people. Did you ever read the description of last week's episode?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
you like that,
bastard? So my question to you, I actually have a question. Have you ever really watched the Highlander films?
No.
Oh, dude, you're missing out.
Do keep in mind they came out like
1986.
Yeah.
10 years before you were born, the first one came out. I'm actually one of the few. I love the first Highlander movie. Absolutely love it. Again, it's very dated. Very, very dated. It's an 80s movie, but it's so damn good. And I highly recommend you watch it. I'm serious. Watch the first Highlander.
I'll watch it.
Then,
I'll give it a shot.
Then there's the second one, Highlander 2. I can't remember what the subtitle was.
Too High Landing.
But I really liked that movie. It was actually the first one I saw. I saw Highlander 2 before I saw the first one. And it's fucking wacky and crazy. It's all futuristic. And
oh, shit.
The world has like a barrier around it because the sun's rays were like killing people. So they put this barrier around it.
Relatable.
It's so fucking crazy. Now, I don't know. Do you know much about the Highlander legend?
No.
So the Highlander legend is, if you're a Highlander, you can actually kill other Highlanders and take their spirit, their soul, and you can become immortal. The more you
souls
kill,
you reap,
the more immortal you can become.
So essentially, if I kill like 3 people, I can become God.
So the saying is, there can be only one, or there can only be one. There can only be one, or so however it goes. But that's like the saying, like whenever he swings, there can be only one. Like so. Growing up as a child, I would always say that whenever I would be playing with swords, like until I saw Star Wars, I was like Star Wars.
You're like Luke. I am your father.
But then they had the TV show in the 90s. And then they did Highlander Endgame, which actually brought the MacLeod from the movies and the MacLeod from the TV show together. And
it became woke as fuck.
Well, no, because they were the last 2 Highlanders. And it was like, there can be only one, so which one is there going to be? And they're both from the same family. They're both related. But they had to, one of them had to come out victorious. And there was actually there's alternate endings. There was one where one wins.
Which one's canon?
The spoilers for a 20-year-old movie. The one where the TV show MacLeod actually.
So they actually liked the TV show more than the movies.
The TV show was pretty big. It was pretty big, man. Christopher Lambert, I don't know if you know him as an actor. You saw the original Mortal Kombat movie, right?
Fight. Yeah.
He was the guy who played Raiden.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's Christopher Lambert. He played Highlander, Connor MacLeod, in the Highlander films. I'm telling you, at least watch the first one. The second one isn't that great. I like it just because I'm like, it was the first one I saw and I enjoyed it.
You're sentimental about it.
Third one was horrible. So they don't get better. Like Endgame was good, but I recommend watching them. If you can watch the TV show, watch the TV show because that was good as well. For a while, Ryan Reynolds was attached to the Highlander reboot years ago. I think like 4 or 5 years ago when they were talking about it, Ryan Reynolds was actually attached to it, and I was all for it. I was like, "Fuck yeah, Ryan Reynolds!" I think because he should have a certain snarkiness to him, because he's resistant at first. But the problem is, it's a very European. The first one, at least the original, takes place in Scotland, and you have Sean Connery teaching Christopher Lambert in Scotland in like the 1500s, on how to be a Highlander, So that's kind of, I was like, I don't know if Ryan Reynolds could pull that off, but
Fuck it, YOLO.
Yeah, exactly.
So I already have a topic for next week's episode.
Okay.
I don't want to share it yet.
Okay.
I'm going to share it.
Ralph Breaks the Internet. Wreck-It Ralph 2 dropped its first trailer. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I was the one who broke the news in the group.
Oh, man. How'd you think, or what'd you think of it?
I didn't care for the first one.
Really? I really enjoyed the first one. I thought it was just a nice, sweet film. It was like heartwarming, that kind of thing. It was good. I'll see. I mean, I'll see the second one. I'm not. My kids are going to want to see it.
Your kids are going to be the alibi to see it.
Exactly, and it's not like I don't go and see kids' movies because I want to see them. But no,
Incredibles 2.
that one. My kids aren't going with me the first time I'm seeing it. I'll probably see it 2 or 3 times, but the first time I'm going by myself.
I'll probably see it 3 times myself.
But I have an out. Like it's like you know what, I kind of want to see it, and you know what, they want to see it. Okay, I'll go see it.
I guess.
So
don't twist my arm too hard.
Yeah, I really like the first one though, and I think Sarah Silverman playing the role of the one.
Sarah Silverman's hot.
She's aight.
She was hot back in like 2008.
She's aight. But I like her character. I'm interested to see what other video game characters they bring into it now that it's going out into the internet.
Mortal Kombat.
So I bet you we'll see Minecraft. I bet you that kind of stuff. So
Pikachu, but with a mustache.
We might.
It just depends on how much the rights were for it.
Yeah.
Probably nothing major. So, I just saw your screen flash and light up and explode.
All right, so Star Wars.
Bum, 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 bum,
so, could there be another Star Wars film announcement on the horizon? It appears that the writer-director of X-Men Dark Phoenix has been nabbed by Lucasfilm to write an upcoming Star Wars movie. Now, the writer is none other than Simon Kinberg. If you don't know who he is, he's known for writing films such as X-Men Days of Future Past. He wrote the Sherlock Holmes film, the first one with Robert Downey Jr., Mr. and Mrs. Smith. He also has producer credits on films such as Legion, films and TV, such as Legion and Gifted. Those are 2 excellent X-Men shows. He's really addicted to X-Men. He
probably had some sort of bundle deal.
He's also a producer on Designated Survivor.
Nice.
And he's also the co-creator and writer for Star Wars Rebels, the TV show.
So easy grab.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I think that he could do a hell of a job. A lot of people think it's going to be the Boba Fett film that was supposed to be Josh Trank. How many ever years ago he was supposed to be the one that was writing it, directing it, and then it blew up in their face.
It
died. We have
exploded.
There's a writer for Obi-Wan. There's then you have.
Give me a Padme film.
Then you have the Rian Johnson trilogy that's going on. Then you have
those 2 other people.
The 2 guys from Game of Thrones who's doing their own Star Wars stuff.
You know what? Give me a political one. Give me Sheev Palpatine.
I'd like to actually, dude. The fucking Star Wars Law and Order. Law and Order Star Wars. I'd be all for it, man.
But honestly, though, give me a political one.
But
it can't be hard to make a.
Being that this
movie.
is a rumor, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it turns out that it's not a movie, but it could be for a TV show or something like that. Either way, I think it's a good get. I've really enjoyed Star Wars Rebels. I really like Days of Future Past. It's probably my favorite X-Men movie. Second favorite X-Men movie.
What's the first?
First Class. I love First Class. Nice. Sherlock Holmes. One of my favorite Robert Downey Jr. movies is Sherlock Holmes. I fucking love that movie. So I mean, he's a good writer. So it's not like I'm worried about something being written poorly by him. I just don't know if it's going to be a movie. I think they have so many movies going on right now that they need to focus. Like, we don't know much of what's going on the TV side. Rebels is ending this Monday. Today. Fuck. Today. Ugh. Rebels ends today, man. It's kind of sad.
See you at the crossroads.
We're recording this before the finale of the show airs. I do want to talk about the finale and the show as a whole. So what I plan on doing is tomorrow when I get off work, I'm going to come home and nice. I'm gonna record something for all the Star Wars and Star Wars Rebel fans out there. I'm going to post it because this season was phenomenal.
It looked phenomenal. I'm waiting for it to end before I start it.
I haven't watched the last 2 episodes, essentially. I'm actually starting to get kind of choked up here because...
I can see it in your eyes.
There's a moment that happens, and it fucking devastated me. And it's... The show just... They've done it right. I know a lot of people have problems with the show, but a lot of people
It's because there's so many Force things that never happened in any other thing.
There's something so cool that happened. You know what? Fuck, I'm spoiling it. If you haven't watched Star Wars Rebels... It's fucking amazing. So they go into this. There's this portal in a Jedi temple. All right, and Ezra has to find this portal. So they're like,
they go to the end.
So he goes into the portal. It's the time between time and space. So he can literally travel through time here.
That's badass.
And back a couple seasons ago, there was that big finale, that big episode with Ahsoka and Vader fighting. And nobody knew, does Ahsoka live, does Ahsoka die? Because nobody knew if she lived or died. And Dave Filoni at Star Wars Celebration wore a shirt that said Ahsoka lived with a question mark. And then they showed a trailer for Rebels. And then whenever it came back, it said Ahsoka lives with an exclamation point. And people were like, holy shit, is she alive? Nobody could tell. Well, what fucking happens is Ezra, like there's these, so when he goes into this, which is fucking amazing looking, it looks so cool, like the sound that it makes in there, like Rebels has been fantastic on that, in that regard, for look and sound design and everything like that. But as he's walking, there's different portals that can take him to different times, and there's just unlimited.
Shit's everywhere. So you can go back to Order 66 if you wanted to.
Well, yeah, he could. Now, his whole thing is, he's trying to figure out, because Kanan died. Kanan, his master, died. And he feels lost, because he's like, how can I continue without my master? I haven't learned everything yet. So he's trying to, the Loth Wolves, tell him to go to the temple and stuff like that. So that's why he's there. So as he's walking through, he sees a little owl above one of the portals. He's like, that owl. Hey, you were always around whenever Ahsoka was around. That's kind of interesting. He walks over and he gets close to the portal, and the portal starts to open up. And you see that fucking fight with Vader again.
That's
badass. It's Ahsoka and Vader fighting. I'm like, oh, holy shit. And there's a moment in that episode where, like, shit starts, like, the temple that they're fighting in starts to crumble. And the floor beneath Ahsoka starts to crumble in the episode, and then that's when it cuts away, and we don't know what happens to her, and then we see her walking away, and we're like, did she survive? Is she dead? What is it? Well, what happened is, at that moment, as the ground starts to crumble, Ezra reaches out, grabs Ahsoka, pulls her into the fucking portal.
Badass.
And you're like, Ahsoka lives!
You're like, God damn it!
Yes! So you see, like Ahsoka, like, first off, it's been 3 years, so she's like, what's going on? And he's like, there's a lot of shit you need to know.
Yeah, he's like, hold on real quick.
But here's the thing. They're in this this time and space area, and another part, they're walking through, and a portal's starting to open up, and fucking Emperor Palpatine is on the other side, fucking with like a cauldron, and he's like saying weird words, like he's a fucking witch, and like shit's
That's fucking crazy.
And it's Ian McDermott who's doing the voice.
Do it.
Oh my god, dude, it's so crazy. And they're like, oh shit, it's Palpatine. They're like, oh my god, it's the Emperor. You're like, oh shit. So
you're like, fuck.
So he starts like sending out like these force like smoke things, and they're coming at them, and they're like grabbing Ezra and shit like that. It's fucking insane.
This sounds like it took a hard fucking turn.
But eventually Ahsoka goes back into the portal that she came from, but the fight's over. So when you think and jump back to that episode that you watched, when you saw her walking away into the Sith temple, she was still alive there. So now we know she's alive. She's still alive. Whether she's going to show up in the finale tonight or not, I have no idea. But
watch her come in.
That means that I fucking guarantee, because Dave Filoni, who's the mastermind behind Rebels and stuff, and Clone Wars and stuff like that, I'm telling you, the next cartoon that he does, Ahsoka will be in it again, and I cannot wait, because she's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. They've done an amazing job with her. Why? Because her story's been so fleshed out. From the time of Clone Wars, when she was a little kid, Padawan, to Anakin, to the time when she leaves the Jedi Order and then becomes Fulcrum, showing up in Rebels, like her journey has just been crazy and interesting. It's just one of those, it's the most fleshed out character in probably all of Star Wars, more so, or on par with Darth Vader.
That's crazy.
So to me,
see, I have like 3 storylines I follow in the Clone Wars. That's it. Ahsoka's was not one of them.
So good though, so good. I mean, Clone Wars has a lot of good episodes, and then it has a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
Rebels was the same way. Rebels had a lot of really good episodes and a bunch of meh. But this last season, dude, has been fantastic. It's just been nonstop, start to finish, good. And the best way to watch Rebels is to binge it.
That's why I'm waiting for it.
Watching it, week by week by week. I think that's why a lot of people don't like it, because those bad episodes are sometimes really bad.
And it's like,
and it's kind of a downer, But if you binge watch it, so you're watching 5-6 episodes at a time, that episode just gets lost in the mix.
You're like, no, that kind of makes sense.
Exactly. So, yeah, I can't wait to watch it. see what else. John Williams, the master maestro who has composed and scored nearly all the amazing music in every Star Wars film, excluding Rogue One and most of Solo. And I say most of Solo because he is writing the theme for Solo, a Star Wars story. But he has alluded to the idea of walking away from the saga after Episode 9.
That's kind of sad.
So he goes, J.J. Abrams is preparing one now that I will hopefully do next year for him. It will round up the series of 9 that will be quite enough for me. Disney will take it further, and they will probably continue on to do Star Wars for decades, so I think it's all good. And then he goes, the present plan is that I'm writing a theme for Han Solo, and John Powell is going to write the score, which he'll do brilliantly. What I will do is offer this to John and director Ron Howard, and if parties are happy with it, then I'll be happy. John Powell will complete the score. He will write all of the rest of the themes and all the other material, which I'm going to be very anxious to hear. So,
it's really sad.
He's been a staple, for Star Wars. When you think Star Wars, George Lucas, Darth Vader, John Williams, like that. Like honestly, Luke Skywalker. Like you think the figures of Star Wars, those are like the top 4 right there. George Lucas, John Williams, Darth Vader, Luke. Like that's it.
Yeah. You forgot Padme, but it's okay.
Yeah. Padamame.
Pat on my May.
But again, it'll be a sad day. But again, I really liked what Giacchino did with Rogue One. I am looking forward to seeing what John Powell was going to do. The music that they had in the trailer for Solo,
oh my god, it was phenomenal.
I thought it was fantastic. So if that's the flavor, the flair that we're going to get for Solo, I'm on board. And I'm okay with hearing different things. It's just going to be tough when it's the saga films. Like if they do an episode 10, 11, and 12.
I don't think it's an if. I think it's a when.
It's just going to be tough to not hear Williams' music. Now, obviously, the main Star Wars theme will always be there.
Yeah.
The Force theme will always be there.
He already has his cemented tracks already there.
But you figure the two themes that are going to be a steady constant through the Star Wars forever is the Star Wars theme and the Force theme.
You never know. They might throw a binary sunset in there.
But I also, and speaking of music, as I was saying, Rebels, dude, the music in Rebels this past week was fantastic also. God, so good. There was so many, there was times when it was like, oh, that sounds like Han Solo and the Princess, but it's not. It's just a little sound. And there's like, oh, that's the Force. No, it's not. But, close enough. You. Exactly. So they're doing a hell of a job with that show. All right, gonna get away from Star Wars here.
Hey, before we do that, when we do our announcement, Star Wars Talk will be back.
Yeah,
it's been on hiatus for a while.
Yeah, we're gonna, as we're ramping up for Solo in a couple months. That's when
Star Wars Talk will be back.
Yeah. See, comic book films.
Yay!
So as I said, the Deadpool. Oh my god. The Deadpool sequel does have an official title.
Oh shit!
What?
Before you do that, I wanted to announce the TV thing at the end of the TV thing. I think we should do saddest TV show endings.
We can do that. We can do that.
Preferably cartoons.
I mean, whatever. We can do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Next week's topic.
All right. So, comic book films.
Anyway.
The Deadpool sequel has an official title. It is titled
2.
Deadpool 2.
Oh, fucking nice. Nice.
So that's it. There was a stand, standee, cardboard standee that was seen at a movie theater, and it had a big D, and Deadpool was like hugging it or humping it or something. It was like,
neither one of us would know what that is.
See the D or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, then it says Deadpool 2 at the bottom. So, and then it's officially the title Deadpool 2.
Neither one of us would know what See the Big D is.
DC, the writers of Spider-Man Homecoming, John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein have finally signed on to direct the upcoming Flashpoint film.
Nice.
That's about all I have to say about that. Comic actor, and I say comic actor for a reason, because she is a comic actress. Because she is a comic actress. She is. I mean, she does more comedies than anything else. She's been in some, dramas and stuff like that, but mostly a comedic actress. But Kristen Wiig is apparently attached to the Wonder Woman sequel, or she's at least in talks with WB about playing a villain role in the film, possibly Cheetah. I just don't see it.
Some may say she's a cheetah.
I don't see her as Cheetah. Now, not that I'm saying it's going to be bad casting, because the one thing that I think people need to finally understand is DC has almost never done a bad job with casting. You go as far back as The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger. People freaked out. Heath fucking Ledger, the fucking gay mountain movie guy. I wish I knew how to quit, you Batman. Like, that's what people were thinking.
I've never heard more inbred in my life.
But that's what.
My God, get that man a dick.
But that's what people thought about Heath Ledger. Like, they were freaking out. Like, the 10 things I hate about you guy. Like, how is he going to play a good Joker? And then he was fucking phenomenal.
Do you think they fucked on Brokeback Mountain?
Who, Jake Gyllenhaal? And
Yeah.
maybe.
Like real life, IRL?
IRL? No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
I think they did.
Okay. Anyway, so then you had that. Then you had the Henry Cavill casting for Superman, and people were like, "That's kind of weird." Like
by God, he has a mustache.
Well, this was before the mustache. But again, it was people were like they weren't sold on Henry Cavill as Superman, and I think he's done a phenomenal job.
He's done a pretty good job.
Then you had Ben Affleck, then you had Gal Gadot, and then you had Jesse Eisenberg. Like, the list can go on, but every single one of them have done it.
Jesse Eisenberg was probably the most surprising out of all.
And honestly, people still, if anything, people still hold that against DC and WB. They still don't like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex. I think he
was
job.
surprising.
I think he did a great job. You can look at Suicide Squad. Look at who they got for Harley Quinn. Like, Margot Robbie, perfect, absolutely perfect.
Yeah, she was.
I mean, the entire cast of Suicide Squad is fantastic. Even Jared Leto. Like, people didn't like Jared Leto's Joker.
I don't have enough to weigh an opinion on him.
I think it's grown more on people since then. I think you don't hear as many people say, "Oh, he's shitty as Joker," because
we only have 5 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, but not only that, but I mean, he's been the most comic accurate. Like, to the comics, and that's what people want. People are like, I want comic accurate. Well, you fucking love Heath Ledger, and he wasn't comic accurate. So now you get something that's comic accurate, and now you're pissed off despite you wanting something comic accurate. Like, people just don't know how to fucking make up their minds. But again, DC, again, am I sold on Kristen Wiig being Cheetah? No, not now. Am I willing to give it a chance if I have to? Absolutely, sure. I'll give it a shot if I have to, or a chance. Why not? It is what it is.
So
Marvel.
No.
Marvel made a pretty big announcement this past week.
Yeah, the Iron Spider.
Yeah, something about Infinity War releasing a week earlier on April 27th. Oh my God!
It's super gay.
Yeah, no, a full week earlier it's going to open, which I think is kind of cool.
I wonder why they did that.
I can tell you right now.
Why? They realized how much shit's in May.
Exactly. You had Infinity War, and then 2 weeks later Deadpool, and then a week later Solo. And it's like
potentially Disney competing with Disney.
Essentially. So I think what they decided to do was they want that 3 weeks. They want if they can get 3 weeks between films, I think they believe that they can make as much money as they can.
Which they
this
probably
movie's
will.
going to make $1 billion. It's going to make $1 billion. There's no doubt about it. I mean, people have been looking forward to this film for 10 years. It's going to make $1 billion. I just think that they want that extra week just to make sure they hit that $1 billion mark. And those first 3 weeks are pretty crucial because after those first 3 weeks, you have Deadpool, you have Solo, and then you have other movies coming out after that. And Deadpool's going to pull from the Avengers crowd. Yes, it's a rated R superhero film, but it's still going to pull.
It's still a superhero film.
It's still going to pull from the crowd. And then Star Wars is, again, the same type of crowd. It's going to pull from Deadpool and Infinity War. So,
and also within this first 3 weeks, if you're wanting to see the film, you've seen the film,
or maybe
someone get this goddamn man a boat,
or they may not have enough. They may not think it's a good enough film to stand up against those two. Just saying.
Bob, you have to be that guy.
But
you
honestly,
have to get all the hate.
I'll take the hate, but you have to look at all sides. Sometimes you have to, if they're like, okay, look,
that's being a realistic person.
If this was a badass movie, they would put it out the same day as Deadpool. They wouldn't fucking care.
Put it out the same fucking. They push back Solo. Be like, fuck it, who cares?
Yeah, why not push back Solo? That's one thing I was surprised about. Why didn't they push back Solo? Because they're trying to keep it away from Deadpool more than anything. Mm-hmm. And I think it could be, now that I'm starting to think about it a little bit more, it could be because they're worried that it's not as good as people are going to think it's going to be.
I mean, it's probably not, but everybody's Marvel fans. It's going to be...
It's gonna make $1 billion. Yeah, it's going to.
I'm probably going to see it 2 or 3
I mean, I'm seeing it once, definitely. Besides,
I'm there for Iron Man.
I know my kids are
Iron
excited.
Man, Iron Spider.
My kids are excited about it. They brought it up to me this past week. I'm like, I want to see the new Avengers when it comes out. So I know they're going to want to see it
twice.
So I'm going to see it at least twice. So
I'm there for Iron Spider. That's basically it.
Yeah. Well.
Speaking of, I know that you don't have it in your notes, do you? About the Iron Spider. We saw his appendages. We actually get to see the Iron Spider legs. I'll find the promo art again, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Whatever. Speaking of release dates, Disney has announced the release dates of 6 untitled Marvel films. The studio also moved an untitled Marvel film to July 31st, 2020, which was originally for August 7th, 2020. So the dates for these 6 other Marvel movies is May 7th, 2021, May 30th, 2021, November 5th, 2021, February 18th, 2022, May 6th, 2022, and July 29th, 2022. Who knows what they got up their sleeve right now with all these release dates? Honestly, they may not even have movies planned for them. They may just be like, look,
hey, here's some tentative dates.
They're like, look, we don't want other studios taking a date, so it's ours. You know?
That's basically
that's what it is.
They're like reserving rooms for Valentine's Day on Christmas.
Yeah,
like that's what they're doing.
Basically, is what they're doing. So, not that it's a bad thing, but it's cool to see that. Okay, as of right now, it looks like we're gonna have Marvel films up through 2022 now. You know,
yay!
Cool. You know, awesome. Thanks, Disney. So yeah, but at this point now, we're going to jump to this here, sir, because I know how much you love this.
Colton makes an ass out of himself time. Yay.
So, most of the weeks leading up to Infinity War, we have been doing a journey to Infinity War, where Colton will give his half-ass or ridiculous take on a film, and then Bob,
there it is.
Myself, will... that's pretty cool. I will correct him on all of his mistakes and actually tell the real story of those films.
Look, if you want like a look, if you want a comedian standpoint on the Marvel universe, you listen to mine. If you want the real shit, listen to Bob's.
So we're gonna be doing 3 films this week, so hopefully we can get them quickly.
Because we had an impromptu pushback.
Yeah, thanks to them pushing back Infinity War, we had to add one this week, and then we skipped last week, so that's why I have 3. So Captain America: The Winter Soldier is today, sir. What do you remember of that movie?
The Winter Soldier is he's like brainwashed and shit, and I'd like to say it takes place in Russia, but I know it doesn't take place in Russia. Like, the whole scenery gives me the feel of Russia. Anyway, like, he's fighting, he's like, Bucky, and not like that, but, like, Captain America realizes who it is, and he, like, takes him, and he's like, stop, I'm sorry. But he's, like, captured, and this dude's, like, being a dick. Not really being a dick, but being secretly dicky. And he's, like, doing all kinds of research. And he goes in and he poses as a doctor. And he's, like, in an interview, and he does his, like, secret words.
You're completely... You're
I'm thinking of the other one.
You're thinking of Civil War.
Fuck. God damn it! Did I... Stop. No. I'm trying to think now. Have I seen Winter Soldier?
Oh my god.
I don't think I've seen Winter Soldier.
All right, Winter Soldier. So the main premise...
There's Civil War.
Main premise and concept of the Winter Soldier is Steve Rogers, Captain America, is kind of unsure about how S.H.I.E.L.D. is handling everything, and how he doesn't trust them. You know, it's a big film on trust.
He's not protected by the shield.
Jeez. All right. So essentially, some things happen where because he's going against the orders of S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything like that, they try to capture him and he gets away, but at the same time they try to kill Nick Fury as well, or they kill Nick Fury as well, and you find out that it was actually Bucky, or the Winter Soldier, who kills Nick Fury. I mean, essentially, the whole movie is about the relationship between Steve and the Winter Soldier. Finding out that the Winter Soldier is Bucky, the friend of Steve Rogers from World War II in that era in the 1940s. And then you find out that he was brainwashed and put through a whole bunch of different similar super soldier type of programs in Russia. and was used heavily in the Cold War and stuff like that. So that's kind of what you learn about the Winter Soldier. You got the whole relationship thing between
me and your dad's ass.
Steve and Peggy's granddaughter. I can't remember her name. God, I'm so bad today.
Pansy.
Knocking shit over. You got, I don't know. Jeez. So, okay, you then find out that Hydra actually infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. and is actually behind the scenes and running S.H.I.E.L.D. The only person that was really in S.H.I.E.L.D. not part of Hydra was Nick Fury, Captain America, and Black Widow, So you find that out, and they discover it, and they essentially, take down S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Nice.
The whole that's right. The whole thing was, and people are probably sitting there like, "You're a fucking idiot." I really am.
Not to disprove you.
They were going to launch hover carriers, which monitored and would predict and prevent crime with like lasers and shit like that.
That's
like,
badass.
So Captain America's like, that's like a breach of like secrecy. Like you can't do that. That's like wiretapping people, like that kind of thing. So that's why he's so upset at S.H.I.E.L.D.
He's like, this isn't America I stood
But
for.
you find out that Hydra was going to use it for other means and other things to destroy and take over the world essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's essentially Winter Soldier, and if you want to yell at me and tell me more about it, go ahead, because it's actually one of my top 3 favorites, and I just, for some reason, just drew a complete blank when thinking about it. Guardians of the Galaxy, which is my number 1 favorite. Tell me about that, Colton.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, so you get Star-Lord, and he's being a dude listening to cassette tapes in space, because, that's a thing. And they're fighting, and he meets Groot and Rocket and Gamora?
Yeah, look,
Gamora.
Good job.
For some reason, like, this is one time I remember someone's name in a movie, because I am awful with names. I was like, Green. She's the green lady with long hair. Gamora. Anyway, so they're doing
the hottest green lady I've ever seen.
I don't know. Martian Manhunter, man.
Dude, Zoe Saldana's hot, so... But go ahead.
No. Anyway, so they're fighting, and Groot dies at some point in time.
You're like, so we're at the beginning of the movie, and now we're at the end.
Yes.
Nothing happens between us.
Nothing that's memorable because it doesn't matter. Drax is there, aka Dave Bautista. He does a Bautista bomb, I'm pretty sure, somewhere in the middle of the movie. Groot dies, but is reborn as Baby Groot. You want to fucking yell at me for clicking a goddamn pen? You just don't drop the pen. Baby Groot doesn't dance in front of Drax because it like emotionally disturbs him, and what was the post-credit scene? I think Thanos was in one of the post-credit scenes, wasn't he?
So the beginning of the movie is basically Star-Lord. He goes and finds
like his
orb.
mom has. Oh no, never mind. Hold on, and he finds his dad, and shit happens.
That's the second movie.
God damn it!
So he finds his orb, and this orb, he
oh wait, no, it's like when they fight that purple dude or blue dude. And he gets the...
He's a Kree, yes.
Yeah, they fight the Kree, and then they get the...
The dance off at the end of the movie?
Yeah, and they get an Infinity Stone. Isn't it the orange one? I can't think of what it's called.
No, it's the Power Stone.
Power Stone. Purple. I don't
blue.
fucking know.
I think it's blue. But
anyway, hey, I did better on this one than I did anything else. I'm gonna fucking hear it. For a movie I haven't seen in a long time.
But whenever he finds the orb, then there's people that are also trying to find that orb. So they get into a little tussle in the beginning. He gets away. He then goes back to one of the planets. I can't remember the planet names. And Nebula. He goes back to Nebula.
They call him the Space Cowboy. And
then he tries to sell the orb. The person he's trying to sell it to realizes what it is, and he's like, "No, I don't want that." And
he's like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
But then you find out that there's a bounty for Star-Lord. So as he goes outside from the shop, you have Rocket and Groot who see him and are going to try and collect on the bounty. So they try to capture him. You have Gamora, who is one of Thanos's daughters, as well as the blue chick played by Carrie Gillan. I can't remember her name for some reason.
She's in the Sorry.
But she and they're out to find the orb, you know. So Gamora sees that Star-Lord has the orb, and she tries to capture him. So there's this really cool scene in the beginning of the movie with, you know, Rocket and Groot trying to capture Star-Lord, and Gamora trying to get the orb off of Star-Lord, and Star-Lord just keeps outmaneuvering them in some ridiculous way.
He moonwalks at one point in time.
Until all of a sudden they all get captured by the police and are put in prison. And when they're in prison, they meet Dave Bautista, Drax, and you know, then they escape from prison because they want to figure out what this orb. They want to, you know, get the orb, so they go to the Collector, and is played by Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Benicio
Howard
del
the
Toro.
Duck is there somewhere.
Oh, fucking right.
That's the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
So
well, wasn't there another one too? Like a mid-credit and a post-credit?
Now the Kree, the main Kree guy, which I can't remember his name either.
Blue guy.
Blue guy.
Oh, blue poop guy.
Blue Kree guy.
Blue nun-looking Kree guy.
He is trying to get the Power Stone for himself, so he can essentially rule the galaxy. He believes this stone, because the Power Stone will give him the strength to rule the galaxy, as well as defeat Thanos, who he's actually working for Thanos to collect the stone, but he's trying to collect the stone for himself, and blah 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 blah. So we do see Thanos in this movie, but besides that,
not really Thanos.
Yes, it's really Thanos.
Nah.
So, anyways, so that's why he's trying to get the stone.
It's a forced projection.
Then there's, you know, there's a big scene where he does get the stone and he's powerful, and then there's a big space battle, but not space battle, and it's just really cool. And then the ending ends with a dance off. Groot died. That's
baby Groot was born.
And they become the Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's weird though, like in the comics, how like Gamora's Thanos' daughter, but Drax was like solely created to defeat Thanos and shit like that.
Okay.
It's crazy, like it's all this
that's another thing. Drax's story is pretty interesting because I believe it was Thanos who killed his family.
Yeah.
And he's trying to find the person who killed his family to kill, to kill Thanos. So, yeah. So
but like in the comics, he was like born to beat Thanos' end. Like I think that's.
And then this one we're both gonna flub up on: Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Oh fuck!
I've seen it 1.5 times because it's not good.
Okay, so Ultron's like this. Oh no! It starts off with fuck.
Your love is lifting. Wait, no, wrong movie.
I'll take it. Ship it. All the Avengers are partying in Stark Tower, and what the fuck's the AI?
Is that the beginning of the movie?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
That's not the beginning of the movie.
What the fuck's the beginning of the movie?
The beginning of the movie is when they make that attack on one of the
oh yeah.
Because
like,
this
Scarlet Witch looks back and she's like horrified that they killed tons of people. Isn't this the beginning?
This is where Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are being held in this like castle place.
I'm thinking, why do I keep thinking of
so this is I want to say, well, this is after Winter Soldier. So this is they're trying to finally eliminate like Hydra agents and stuff like that. So they go to this castle somewhere, and there's like it's a pretty cool fight scene in the beginning, but you can see the team is actually fighting as a team. You know, you don't have to wait a whole movie like you did in the first Avengers to see the team.
Oh yeah.
Right in the fucking beginning,
because it's like in snow.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Why do I keep thinking of Civil War?
And Tony Stark says a bad word, and Steve is like language, and then that's like a running gag through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay,
and then basically what was the AI? I can't think of the AI.
The AI?
Yeah. Tony's AI.
Jarvis?
Yeah, there we go, Jarvis. He's like, we have this other AI, and then like the AI becomes sentient, and kind of takes over Jarvis a little bit, and then takes over a prototype Iron Man suit. Was it a prototype, or was it like?
No. So
it was an Iron Man suit of sorts.
After the events of,
we'll call it Mother Russia.
After all of the events that happened with the first Avengers and everything like that, Tony felt that it would be important to create robots, basically that look like Iron Man suits or Iron Man that can patrol and be pseudo Avengers, Avengers and protect. Just like how in the Winter Soldier they had their idea of like this AI, these hover crafts and stuff like that. This was kind of Tony thinking the same thing, which again, this is leading me more to Steve and Tony were never friends, but this whole thing is going on. Steve is not happy about it. So they're like, you need to shut this program down. But the problem is the program got too smart.
Yeah,
the program
it became sentient.
It became sentient, became Ultron, and it's during their party at Stark Tower.
Yeah, everybody's trying to lift up Thor's hammer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
And
Black
Steve
Widow
almost,
gets the hammer.
Steve almost lifts it. Yeah, but anyway, so they're there, and Ultron comes out, and it's like, well,
He's like, I am a robot.
Yeah, I'm a robot.
Oh, it does the robot a little bit.
Does the James Spader voice, which is brilliant. Like I love James Spader's voice, and it was perfect for that. But it just didn't. The villain didn't work in this movie, much like most villains in Marvel movies.
This one was just bad, though.
But then Ultron decides to go off and try and get vibranium to create a stronger Ultron and Ultron bots, with vibranium, because we know vibranium is almost impenetrable. That's what the Cap's shield is made out of. The Avengers go to hide. They go and hide at Hawkeye's home, where you see Linda Cardellini looking hot as hell with their kids. And you see Tony and Steve at each other's throats the entire time.
Like friends do.
Exactly, just like friends do, because we've seen them as best friends before. They've known each other for 20 minutes. So...
Legit.
So, Tony's talking about, how it's important to do this. Steve's like, you can't do this. You create something, and now it's sentient. Now,
You're seeing fissures in the team.
So, yeah, exactly. So then Tony and... Bruce Banner go back to Stark Tower because they believe that they can create something to defeat Ultron, and they create Vision.
Yeah. Lo and behold, that got crazy.
But it's because of Thor. Thor actually helps create Vision because he uses his hammer and his lightning.
They do a whole Frankenstein thing.
So Jarvis becomes Vision with the not Soul Stone.
Life Stone. Soul Stone.
That's not the Soul Stone.
I'll give you some Soul Stone.
I don't know, one of the stones.
Hey, I'll give you a kidney stone.
So, so then, we get Vision. I know I missed a whole bunch here. And then there's a fight, and we see Sokovia.
We see Scarlet Witch possess some of them.
Scarlet Witch. Oh, that's right, the Hulk fight and everything. So yeah, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are working with Ultron the whole time. Now, one thing I want to say about Ultron, the CGI was fucking horrendous on Ultron. Horrendous. But yeah, they're working with him for a while. Working for him. Then Scarlet Witch goes into the mind of the Hulk and fucks with his mind. So then, he goes crazy Hulk. So then Iron Man has to use his Hulk busting armor, which is a pretty cool scene. Probably
that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Then
the Hulk buster. And then shit happens.
Other shit happens. Then they get the Sokovia. Quicksilver dies. Ultron doesn't die, but he gets away, so you never know where he is. And then Hulk flies off somewhere and ends up in Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, that's about it.
What was the post-credit scene? Here, hold on.
I don't care about the post-credit scene.
I do. Yeah, I care more about the post-credit scenes than I care about the actual movie.
All right, so we're going to just get to our topic, because this has been a long-ass episode so far.
Because someone didn't want to cut it in half.
Yeah. So, top song covers.
That's a really bad mimic.
Top song covers. I will start.
Oh, shit. The mid-credit scene was when Thanos puts on the glove.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I will take care of it myself, or something like that, or I must do it myself. Yeah, whatever.
I must do it myself.
All right, so we got top song covers. Now, when we talk about top song covers, we're talking about songs that are covered by another band, so not the original person. That's what we're talking about. Obviously, you're not dumb, so you probably know that. There was no real criteria for it. It was just cover songs. So if a band covered somebody's song, whether it was been covered 50 times or one time, it doesn't matter. We could use it. So I will go ahead and start off. And this is actually a song that I just discovered a couple weeks ago was covered. I love the original, but the cover by A Perfect Circle I think is fantastic. And it is Imagine, which Imagine was originally written and performed by John Lennon. The ominous sound brought to it by A Perfect Circle, I think, creates an amazing sound. And topping off with Maynard's voice here. I tell you what, I think I like this more than the original, and I'm not saying that lightly because John Lennon's original is
Yeah,
fantastic.
John Lennon was really good.
But this is so good.
Has that nice grungy feel.
Yeah. So, that is A Perfect Circle Imagine, a cover of John Lennon's song Imagine.
And next pick's mine. It's a nice cover. It's by Fame on Fire. It's Hello, a nice Adele cover. It's nice. I'm more of a post-hardcore guy, so it has nice vocals, but then like the chorus gets a little rougher, but you know, it just sounds better. It sounds like it deserves a dude's voice.
And who was the original?
Adele.
Adele. Yeah.
Yeah, see? You're like, huh. This isn't bad.
It's not terrible.
You're going to listen to this after this is over.
Kind of gives me like a vibe from like early 90s rock.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what it gives me a vibe.
Yeah, that's post-hardcore. It's like, it can be hard, but like most of the time it's just nice singing. Just wait, it's gonna get a little heavier in about 5 seconds.
I can dig it. You're gonna notice that we do have a couple that we have the same on here. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's all post-hardcore.
I can dig it. But we're gonna jump to my next one. Now my next one is actually a Metallica song, or not a Metallica song, but it's a cover that Metallica did, called Whiskey in the Jar.
Fun fact about this song, if you're playing Rocket League, really great to play when you're making gameplay footage.
Metallica, originally, this is an old Irish folk song. Prior to Metallica taking it on, was most famously sung and made by Thin Lizzy in 1972. To me, this is the best version of this song.
By a mile and a half.
I mean, this song is... There's not a time that I go to the bar where I don't turn this song on because it's just that fucking good, you know?
And you just sit there and you...
Oh, it's just so good.
And you pound 17 shots.
Hell yeah.
And you stumble out of the bar wondering
Here's
who
the thing,
you are.
I'm a Metallica fan, you know?
Yeah,
I can take Metallica.
All four of them? Can you take them all?
Their newer stuff, not so great. But this is one of those songs, like most Metallica songs just got played out to me after so long. Like, I was just like, oh god, I can't take this song anymore. Like Unforgiven, that's one of my top favorite Metallica songs.
It's a fucking great song.
But like,
you can only listen to it
it's
for so
played
long.
out. Like, even though it's so damn good, it's played out. You know, Blackened and Injustice and One, like they're great songs, but to me they're played. This song here just does not get played out for me ever. So that's me. So what do you got next, buddy?
What do I have next? I have a Jimi Hendrix song, which probably is one of the better known ones. All Along the Watchtower.
Yes.
All Along the Watchtower. Who isn't a Hendrix fan?
You know, I'm a Hendrix fan, but I'm not a huge Hendrix fan. Like, I know a lot of people who are into music really love Hendrix for what he did and what he brought during his time. You know,
AKA the Star Spangled Banner.
Well, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
non-music fans like. Oh, Star Spangled Banner, and he plays his guitar backwards. Like that's what people know Jimi Hendrix for.
By God!
Oh my God!
By God! Someone get a man a steel chair.
No, but you know, or Purple Haze. You know, like that's
Yeah.
what people know. I think his sound, his voice, it was very different for a time. I really enjoyed it. Or not enjoyed it, but I enjoy it now. I wasn't alive then, unfortunately.
The samesies.
But
I had 10 more years.
yeah. But I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, yes, you know, Hendrix. Like, I'll listen to Hendrix anytime.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, like, if I hear this on the radio or if I hear it on, I'll rock out to it. But I'm not going to, I don't go out of my way to find Hendrix. So that's just me.
The original was by Bob Dylan as well. Bob Dylan's on my list a lot. Looking at it now. There's 1, 2. Oh, that's it, 2. I think there's only 2. There was a lot of Bob Dylan covers though that I saw that I was going to put on mine.
My next song is a Seether song. called Careless Whisper. Originally written and performed by George Michael and released in 1984, the 2007 cover by Seether is absolutely amazing in my opinion.
It's on our unreleased cover album.
This song,
Orgy for One.
This song is so good though. Like it's absolutely, it's a treat to listen to, and it's powerful. And I think just the sound that Seether was able to bring to it. Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love the original by George Michael, but this is just so good. And I'm sure people have heard this. This plays on the radio a lot. You're going to notice a lot of mine are more mainstream covers.
Yeah, mine's...
not all of them.
Not all of them. Most of mine are kind of indie-ish.
But the next song is actually both of us. Both of us have the next one here.
It's a Johnny Cash song.
Yeah.
Originally a Nine Inch Nails song. Both totally different sounds.
Now, this was released on Nine Inch Nails' The Downward Spiral album in 1994. Johnny Cash actually decided to cover the song only 8 years later in 2002. This was actually on his final album, American 4.
Was released a couple months before he died. The music video.
Yeah. To me, the cover of this is just brooding while Johnny Cash gets a glimpse of his own mortality.
Yeah.
Like that's really what I feel with this song.
You can feel the I've seen shit feel.
Yeah. It's so good. Like I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails fan. I've seen them live. You know, I've got all their albums, everything like that. I love Nails.
Everything.
But this cover, and Trent Reznor is one of those guys that he gave his blessing. He thinks it's an excellent cover.
That's because if you listen to this one and the original version, they're two totally different songs.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, because the people singing them.
Exactly.
There's different meanings behind them each time somebody's, the way Johnny Cash is singing it, the way Trent Reznor sang it.
And you could have it all.
You have anything else to say about Hurt?
Oh my god, it makes me hurt in the feels. This is such a great song.
It really is.
Like,
it's so good.
Both versions. Listen to both.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Nine Inches Nails, not 9 inches. Nine Inches
Nails.
Is what, like 7 minutes long, 8 minutes long.
It's a longer, yeah.
Yeah, it's way long. There's a lot of silence in the first beginning of the
it's
film.
very quiet. See,
There's
Trent
a
Reznor. I could get on talking about Nine Inch Nails all day.
Are we planning the week after next episode?
My next song is Disturbed, their cover of The Sound of Silence. I have a bit to read about this, though. So this is a cover originally called The Sounds of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel, released in 1965, but it was released as The Sound of Silence. So it was originally going to be called The Sounds of Silence, but was then called The Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. Now, for me, this song encapsulates the brilliance of Disturbed with Draymond's vocals and the band's heavy rock. Like, if you listen to it, like, you can not, like, I'm a huge Disturbed fan, but this song uses all of Dave Draymond's range from low to high, like, and it's just so good. So good. Now, on April 1st, why did it say on April 1st? Anyways, Simon from Simon and Garfunkel sent lead vocalist Dave Draymond an email praising Disturbed's performance of the rendition on Conan. Simon wrote, "Really powerful performance on Conan the other day. First time I'd seen you do it live. Nice." And then Dave Draymond responded, "Thanks, Mr. Simon. I'm honored beyond words. We can only hope to pay homage to the brilliance of one of the greatest songwriters of all time. Your compliment means the world to me, us, and we are eternally grateful."
Nice.
So Simon from Simon and Garfunkel, like, gave his praise. Like,
yeah,
it's that good, and that's kind of what I looked for. Like, I wasn't just looking for songs that were just like good and where I really enjoyed, but that the person who originally created the song has given their praise, because that
was
means
like, damn, this is good.
Yeah, that means a lot, I think. All right, you're up again, buddy.
Oh yeah, a nice Panic at the Disco song from Suicide Squad, as we were speaking of it, Bohemian Rhapsody. Because what list is complete without Bohemian Rhapsody?
gotta have Bohemian Rhapsody
in some
somewhere.
way, shape, or form. This was also on one of our unreleased cover albums. Orgy for One, Part 2, Room for Another.
No, I love Bohemian Rhapsody. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Queen version.
Yeah.
This version is not bad.
It's not bad, just like Suicide Squad. No, I like Brandon Urie's voice. You can't even say Panic anymore. He's the only one left.
But yeah,
Such a good song. I'm just disappointed I couldn't put the Queen version on.
yeah, I just wanted to jump up a little bit so they could get a real feel of it.
Galileo. Galileo.
All right, so my next song, surprise, it's an Incubus song.
Oh,
What
surprise.
list of Bobs is complete without an Incubus?
Oh,
song, right?
Incubus and Bohemian Rhapsody. This list is set.
Now,
I was gonna put this song on here too.
Let's Go Crazy by Incubus. Now, originally written and performed by the late and great Prince, this song is one of the most fun covers you will ever fucking hear. Originally released in 1984 by Prince, Incubus decided to include this cover of Prince's on their 2009 Greatest Hits album, Monuments and Melodies, which is a superb album with not only their hits, but unreleased and alternate versions of all their songs.
Neither here nor there.
But this song, just so much fun. Like, you get amped up, man. Look, I love Prince. The Prince version is great. This is one that I think is actually better than the original.
Things are much harder than in the afterworld. In this life, you're on your own. And if the elevator tries to break you down,
Go crazy. Punch a higher floor. Alright, but yeah, check out Let's Go Crazy by Incubus, Prince cover.
Another one of yours.
This me?
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm pretty sure it's you, buddy.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh shit, it is. It's a Disturbed song. The other one that they covered, Land of Confusion
They've
by.
actually covered a lot of songs.
I have Phil Collins, but it might be Genesis. I can't.
This-
Is it Phil Collins?
Genesis.
Genesis. Well, it's still Phil Collins.
Yeah, I mean, well,
So-
Genesis isn't Genesis without Phil Collins.
Exactly. So, it's a nice political song, and it's not something we do on here very often, but
It is very political, but
especially the music video. The music video is super fucking political.
oh, very, very political. But again, it's one of those songs, and the music video is so good. And again, this is another song that just encapsulates Disturbed, and
Yeah.
who they are, and everything like that. And I think it's a great song. I was telling you a little bit about it. You know, that when I went to Ozfest back in '05.
That story took a crazy fucking turn there towards like the middle.
But they literally played this song constantly on the main stage, the music video on the main stage, because the second stage played the first half of the day. So on the main stage, you just had videos playing, and this song played probably 472 times.
Were you in a pit in that in Ozfest?
No.
Were you near one?
No, I mean, the cool thing
I mean,
about-
I understand Ozfest is just a giant pit, but still.
it's basically what it is, yeah. But that Ozfest is crazy because there were fires everywhere.
That's badass.
Everywhere, people were just starting fires, and the crew, the security crew and the crew of the amphitheater were running out with these like water packs, like they were like big super
water guns.
soaker.
Oh my God.
And they were running out like trying to put out the flames. They just couldn't keep up with it.
They had
It
a
was just
water
fire,
thrower.
Fire everywhere. It was crazy. You know, the chairs, the lawn chairs that you could rent from there, there were lawn chairs in the fire.
Badass.
It was just fucking
just
nuts.
think of,
There were boobies everywhere.
oh my God.
Absolutely everywhere.
Boobies as far as the eye can see. When you're talking to your sons, I gotta sit you down. Go to Ozfest. Boobies. Boobies. As far as the eye can see. You see that over there? The shady spot? That's where the dicks are. You don't want to go there. Just all the boobies as far as the eye can see.
but I was a smoker then, so like I got a free pack of cigarettes, which was kind of cool. They had like a cigarette tin up, and Camel was like, "Here's cigarettes." Like, okay.
Oh yeah, smoking's cool, man. Cancer.
I got second-degree burns on my arms because I didn't wear any sunscreen, and I wore a
Oh
cutoff
no,
shirt.
I know that, Phil. That happened to
fucking
me
sucked.
like 2 years ago at Warped Tour.
So yeah, it was a good time. You know, good time. A lot of boobies. You know, a lot of alcohol.
Boobies. As far as the eye can see.
But it was a good time. So, all right, gonna jump to the next song, which is one of mine. It's Stain.
Nice.
Now, Stain not only covered this amazing Tool song called Sober, but they did it acoustically, which I think is fantastic. Now, this song was originally written and performed by Tool. It comes from their 1993 album Undertow. I mean, Sober is such a good fucking song. And Tool, don't get me wrong, Tool's version is fantastic. Fucking fantastic.
You're a sucker for acoustic versions.
I love acoustic. I love acoustic.
You're a huge sucker for it.
I really am. But this is the only way they cover this song is acoustically. So again, it's excellent. And I'm gonna jump up a little bit here so you can hear a little more. Just more instrumental.
Boobies.
Here, jump up a little.
Hey Jordan. Hi.
There's your call out, buddy. All right, you're up next, buddy.
Oh, hey, yeah, fucking Marilyn Manson. All right.
Actually, this is both of us.
Sweet dreams are made of this.
These.
These.
Our sweet dreams are made of this. Is it really this? I thought it was these.
Oh shit. See, I just put sweet dreams.
I mean, sweet dreams, and then it's
Yeah, are
in
made of-
parentheses are made of this. Originally released in 1983 by the British duo The Eurythmics, Manson covered it and released it in 1995. Some consider this to be the song that helped put Marilyn Manson on the map.
I think all of his covers put Marilyn Manson on the map.
Yeah, basically.
Tainted Love.
I almost put that one on here. But
I was gonna put that one on there. I was like, nah, Sweet Dreams is better.
Yeah, it is. It's because it is. It's just that much better.
There was another one. He did a third cover, didn't he? Sweet Dreams, Tainted Love. I swear to God, he did a third one.
Possibly.
And it's just like, it starts off so creepy, like Marilyn Manson, and then it gets good.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's Manson. You know, a lot of things, I remember growing up when Manson came out, my brother was a big fan of Manson. And
your mom thought he was going to dress up as a chick and start raping dogs.
well,
and
not
shit.
exactly that. My mom was not happy because the news that came out about Manson was just how weird and crazy he is. But
Because
the thing that really got, you know, there was the whole rumor that he was the Antichrist. You know, because he would stand on stage, rip a Bible, wipe his ass with it, and stuff like that on stage. You know, and people were like, he's the fucking Antichrist. You know,
And
So-
that's when rock music started and metal music got its real, like, shunning.
no, what are you talking about? That fucking
Shun.
happened in the 80s, buddy.
No, but Marilyn Manson was the nail in the coffin.
Maybe, I guess. I don't know about that. I think it still happens from time to time now.
Oh, that's because, by God,
My God.
someone get that man.
But I just remember, you know, my mom just being completely against it, and I had to sneak to listen to Manson. So I would like take my brother's CD.
Goes to church, listens to Manson in the first pew.
I would literally like, you know, steal my brother's CD for, you know, a few hours just so I could listen to a couple of Manson songs, and then, you know, go put it back so my brother didn't notice or something like that.
It's funny. I spent most of my childhood with my mom because my parents are divorced. Dad listened to Marilyn Manson, still does to this day. Mom actually promoted me to listen to Marilyn Manson. Beautiful people.
But you got to remember, your mom is like the same age as my brother, so that makes
Yeah.
sense. You know, because
So, which goes to show, like,
my mom is, you know, is
Yeah.
older. She came from a different generation, you know. So
yeah, between you and my mom, there's what, like a 10-year age difference?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. She's what, 40?
41.
So there's 9
Something
years.
around there. Something around there.
And you just gave away your mom's age.
Whatever. It's not even the right one. But no, like Marilyn Manson, I owed a lot of my creativity to his music videos, as fucked up as that sounds.
Some of his videos, dude. I don't care what anybody says. Tool still has the most fucked up music videos, and 9 Inch Nails.
9 Inch Nails fucked up. But like It's just like the indie horror trying way too hard to be scary type thing. It's you can see it in most of my writing. I'm next again.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, a band that I have actually seen multiple times. I'm actually really good friends with the bassist, Daniel Flores. The Animal and Me, they're an up-and-coming band. They were on Warped Tour last year in California. They tour every once in a while. They do a lot of covers. Post-hardcore again, they do a lot more screaming, though. I know you're not really into it. I know this song doesn't really have it, but like they do an entire Rap God cover, screaming. Really good band. I'd recommend giving them a listen. So, yeah. Laura's pretty cool. That's who's singing now.
I don't have anything to say because I don't know this band.
I know. I did about as all. Check out The Animal and Me. They're named after a Motley Crue song. Don't look at the Motley Crue song. It's an okay song, but like whatever. Look at the band. They're not bad.
All right, my next one is a Megadeth song.
Surprise! No, I'm kidding.
No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Oh shit! I forgot they covered this song.
Originally by Alice Cooper.
Oh, I love the original.
From 1973, his album called $Billion Babies. It was then covered by Megadeth in 1989 for the horror film Shocker. It was later released on their 1995 B-side compilation album Hidden Treasures, and then later in 2007's War Chest compilations. It came down to this and Megadeth's cover of Paranoid for me, and this just edges out Paranoid slightly.
It's because it's fucking Alice Cooper. I can't be
another Megadeth pseudo cover. Some people like to say it's a cover, but it's not. Is Megadeth's Mechanics. That was on the list of whenever I was looking at covers. Mechanics is actually not a cover. Basically, they took the music.
Sampled it, didn't they?
They took the music of Metallica's Four Horsemen and made their own lyrics to it.
And made their own Four Horsemen.
Now, the crazy thing and the reason why that was able to happen is because Dave Mustaine, who was part of Metallica in the beginning of Metallica, he helped write that song, The Four Horsemen. You know, Dave Mustaine is on their first album.
Yeah, so he technically has rights to the music.
So he has rights to the music because he wrote it, but he just changed the lyrics and made it a lot more faster and a lot more thrashy. You know, so there's a little history if you didn't know that about Megadeth and Metallica. But there you go. You're up next again, buddy.
He's obscene. Do we have to change it? Oh, hey, a song that most people don't know is a cover. It's a GNR, Guns N' Roses. Knocking on Heaven's Door. Originally, again, by Bob Dylan. Such a good song. Bob Dylan's version's probably better, in my opinion. But
I actually really like this song. GNR, for me, they're kind of like...
They're hit or miss real hard.
They're hit or miss, but they're also one of those bands that I'm like, I have to be in the mood to listen to them.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely in the mood to listen to them.
Every once in a while, I get... This isn't the song, but like, November Rain, every once in a while, you're like, I gotta listen to fucking November Rain.
I could agree with you on that.
Like, every once in a while, you just get in that mood and you're like, fuck, man. I need to have a really good song and then just fucking headbang at the end of it.
Yeah, no, November Rain's a good song. But yeah, this song's good also. I do like it. Is it not the same original? Probably not, but it's still good.
Yeah, Bob Dylan's just good. Like I'm knocking on heaven's door. It's crazy that like the band now is like, Slash is like blind in one eye and playing.
He doesn't even play with GNR, does he? Has he been playing with GNR?
I don't think he does anymore.
I don't know who traveled because they went on tour a couple years ago. I know that Axl Rose is singing for AC/DC now. So
yeah, but he's like fat and balding. And
no, he lost weight. He did lose weight.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't have the vocal range he had.
No, he's not quite the Axl Rose of the early '90s. But
the partier Axl Rose that ruined his voice.
A funny story. There's a story that I've heard multiple times how GNR and Metallica went on tour together back in the early '90s, and how GNR completely fucked over a concert. I think it was in New York City where they were like they went to perform and Metallica was there like, yeah, let's go, and GNR and Axl Rose was just fucking drunk somewhere, nowhere to be found and shit like that. So
same.
Yeah, man, time to be alive, man. Drunk, getting ass.
It's time to be alive. -7.
All right, my next song. I started to run out of covers, so I jumped back to the good old
The tried and true,
the
right?
tried and true Metallica. This is my second favorite cover of theirs. This is Turn the Page, originally a Bob Seger song, and it was released in 1973 on his Back in 72 album. Metallica covered and released it on their 1998 album Garage Inc., which has a whole bunch of their covers, including Whiskey in the Jar. But I love this song so much. And don't get me wrong, I mean, the original by Bob Seger is fantastic, but this is so good too. The music video is fucked up as well.
Just like your dad's ass.
Yeah, sometimes. But sir, you actually have the last two here. Wait, hold on. It's the best part of the song.
Can you?
That one?
Yeah, that one first.
Alright. So, what do you got?
It's a weird combo. System of the Down, Wu-Tang Clan. Shame. Wu-Tang cover. I like.
You should have done System of a Down when they covered the Legend of Zelda theme.
Oh shit.
Speaking of the Ozfest, they were at the Ozfest I went to.
Wu-Tang?
No, System.
See, like, it's just cool because this was back when like rock and rap were first starting to like form, not Run DMC and Aerosmith. But back when good rap, like the fuck the police era.
Is that really that old? I don't know if you're right on that.
I'm pretty sure it's that old.
Because
No, it's not that old.
yeah, I mean,
Anyway, it takes you back to that time.
rock rap started to have their big like resurgence with like Limp Bizkit and
Yeah.
shit like that, you know, and
And
was
that's where this
late
came.
90s, early 2000s. Like that's when rock rap, Kid Rock, you know, like the rock rap that was when it was big. Late 90s. All right, you
Yeah.
get the last one here. What
This one I kind of cheated. I'm not gonna lie. This one's a Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame cover. It has here. Hold on, let me pull up all the people on it because it's a fucking long list of people. But it has a lot of people on it. It's While My Guitar Gently Weeps. The original one's by George Marison or something like that. It has Tom Petty, Donnie Harrison, Jeff Lynne, Prince, Steve Winwood, and Tom Petty.
Who's Tom Perry?
His long distance brother. But it's good. Like if you go to like the 4 minute mark, after the 4 minute mark is Prince literally killing a guitar. It's awesome. Half the song's Prince killing a solo. It's just Prince. Like halfway through the song, he's just like, "I'm not playing. I walk out, kill a guitar, and leave." It's such a good cover.
Yeah, speaking of, Prince was such a great guitarist.
Yeah.
Like, he was a phenomenal. You talk about Jimi Hendrix playing a great guitar.
Prince was easily the
listen
best
to
of his
this.
time.
Listen,
Easily best of his time.
just fantastic. Like, I don't think Prince gets enough credit for his guitar.
Oh, he was, yeah.
Like, you know, people remember him for his
Purple Rain.
eccentric, you know, look and his,
Yeah.
and his act.
And the fact that he was the artist formerly known as Prince, the symbol known as Prince. I remember, what was it? It was something about the Super Bowl when he did the Super Bowl halftime show, and they opened up the stadium, and like he was just owning the crowd, and then right when the Purple Rain started, everybody was freaking out but Prince, and he was just like, fucking keep going, and he was just killing it in the middle of the rain during Purple Rain, and it was just fucking awesome to see.
I tell you, like, I grew to appreciate Prince later in life.
Yeah.
You know,
After he was dead, like most artists.
no, it was before he died.
I didn't start until after he was dead.
Before he died, like, I started really, gaining respect for him. But when I was a kid, it was that look, it was that, that crazy demeanor that he put off. And I was like, that's weird. Like, I thought Michael Jackson was weird. That's fucking weird.
And other than the fact that literally every song was about fucking something.
Exactly. I watched Purple Rain. The first time I ever watched Purple Rain, I was probably 8 or 9 years old. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But now I can fucking turn it on and just get into Purple
You're
Rain.
like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Prince, amazing. And then you got Tom Petty.
Tom Petty, who's an amazing artist by himself.
Exactly. So Steve Winwood.
That's why I kind of cheated with this one. But
We're like, let's get a whole bunch of great musicians.
and if I'm not mistaken, fuck, I can't think of his name. I think Paul McCartney plays keyboard as well, but he's not credited. But like this is just such a good cover. Anybody, please just listen to it. I mean, I know I cheated, and I like how we're going out on this.
Yeah, I like it.
But yeah, no, it's good song. Please check out all the songs. Rights to all the owners of all the songs, and please listen.
Yeah, I tell
We
you what.
do kind of listen to the same shit, but you know.
Yeah, you can find actually all these songs on our Spotify. I made a playlist for it, and it's literally the remote controls. Where is that here? Remote controls top covers. You can look it up. The remote controls top covers. You'll find all these songs there. It's a playlist that you can check out and listen to.
Hey, you might be able to get the podcast in the playlist.
Yeah, the podcast shows up occasionally in Spotify. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Nobody can tell me why it's not completely showing up on Spotify, even though it should be. I'll figure out one of these days.
Yeah, we got a lot of shit going on.
I've submitted it like 5 times. But with that, we do have
yeah, here's announcement time.
we do have our name unveiling this week. Probably Thursday, we will have a video up on YouTube. We're still ironing out some details. That's why we're not announcing it today. There's still some things that we want to make sure.
Yeah.
We're trying to get all of our ducks in a row this time because we don't want to run into the same thing. It's kind of weird because I was thinking about it the other day, and I'm sitting there like, man, should we even do we still need to really change the name? And I was thinking about it like, I originally started the remote control a year before you and I started. Okay, you can actually go on YouTube. You can find remote control stuff.
Yeah,
with
that was back when with He Who Shall Not Be
Named. It was a horrible looking logo that I made on Microsoft Paint. And
hey, half of our prototypes are still done on Paint. So.
Oh yeah, that's kind of how I come up with ideas. I use Paint, and thanks to Allie. Allie's the one that kind of showed me how to really utilize Paint better.
We're working on Photoshop.
Yeah, but I was sitting there thinking, like, do we need to change it? But he still was out a year before us, even though I started it a year before we started. So, either way, we are changing the name. The announcement will be this week. It will be a video, and then we will talk about it next week because everything's going to start happening pretty quickly.
Everything will starting to be bridged together.
Yeah. My biggest thing is I just want to make sure that all the geekdoms can collide and come together as one. So that's kind of the idea behind everything. And as we move on, you're gonna really understand why we choose the name that we chose, and hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully you embrace it, everything like that. Again, that's this week. We're gonna have a YouTube video up. With that, it'll be all over our social media for days and days to come. I will share it up 100 times a day if I have to. That way people will know what's going on and what's happening.
But April 2nd?
The first week of April is when everything will be official. So
you won't have to follow us anywhere new. It's literally it's just everything's changing.
You're subscribed to the remote control. You're just going to see the name change, that kind of stuff.
Name logo is going to change.
We may start changing like the Facebook page and Twitter and stuff like that sooner than everything else. But it's going to be a transition because I don't want to have to do it all one day. So it's going to be a transition.
Come in one day after working, just sit down. Grab on the keyboards. Keyboard warriors, ready your space bars.
But there's a lot of stuff now. We're getting close. Another thing that I want everybody to look forward to is in a couple weeks we are going to talk a whole bunch of Dragon Ball Super because the finale is coming up.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that. I've been saving that up.
Oh, hey, we didn't talk about it today. How about fucking Ultra Instinct?
I know it was awesome, but I want to save it up I want to just have a big Dragon Ball Super spectacular.
So we're waiting till the last episode.
Yeah, after the last episode we'll talk about it.
Which is in what? Not
3 weeks.
Yeah, because there's not one this week.
There's not one this week, and we have 2 more episodes.
Yeah.
So
I'm interested. This episode grabbed my motherfucking attention.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good battle, I can see. But all right, that's everything. We got an extra long episode for you guys this week, so hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you liked our music picks.
Hopefully you got your dicks out for Harambe.
Woo!
Boobs out for Bantu.
So thanks for listening, and we will be talking to you next week. See you later.
May we bridge you to your next journey.
What the fuck was that?